Well, we've already seen Rasto. Now it's the turn of Rasta. J.Lewis, finalist here in recent times. Up against a man who has recently dropped out of the top 16 on the Pro Tour Order of Merit, but is still a very clear and present danger in the draw. This arguably the highest quality encounter of the day so far, or at least it should be based on their pedigree. Justin Pipe has had his moments on the European circuit as well, reaching the final in Venray in 2015. So 2 European Tour finalists. In fact, Pipe has had European success in Austria, as Richard Ashdown alluded to as well. So a case to be made for both players here, Dan Dawson.
Yes, certainly. And, you know, we know what these two are capable of. Justin Pipe has obviously had a tough time. We know he has over the last couple of years, but there have been little green shoots of recovery, if you like. There have been performances here and there where you just go, hang on, he might be getting back to some kind of nick here. And it'd be good to see because we all know, you know, he was a Player of the Year in 2012. He topped the Pro Tour Order Merit. The walk-on girls have turned up, by the way. We know what he's capable of. He's a very, very hard player to play. He used to be that you never gave easy games away, but they've just over the last 18 months, couple of years, have struggled at times. And
game on.
Maybe this is the weekend where Justin Pipe can really turn things around, put in a strong display. But J.Lewis, well, he looks like a lad who's going places.
Yeah, he certainly does, and loves playing in this part of the world as well. I mentioned his run to the final in 2013 when he lost to Phil Taylor, but he also made the semis last year as well. He beat Michael Smith in the second round 6-5 before an eventual defeat by Michael Van Gerwen, but it's Justin Pipe who has just laid down the first marker there with a 180, the first of the match.
Yeah, two guys with very deliberate throwing actions here, so, you know... Oh, hang on. Justin, that is perfect. Justin Pipe, well, that doesn't make it that easy. Go either side of it. That far either side. Well, 5 perfect darts to start this match for Justin Pipe, and there were just suggestions that we might see a perfect leg. We've not seen one on the European Tour for 3 years. That was on this stage.
89.
Ross Smith against Adrian Lewis. Ross Smith, the first man to be dumped out of the tournament this year. Beaten by Joe Merlin in our opening match. But Justin Pipe is on fire here. Look at this. Yeah, another one, Justin, for double 8.
140.
You wonder if he hadn't been looking around just double-checking the score, then it might have kind of interrupted his rhythm.
Yeah, lost a little bit of momentum maybe, but always worth checking these things. Lewis still has work to do to stay in contention on his throw as well here. Now it's Lewis's turn to just double-check what he has remaining here.
99. Justin, you require 56.
Oh, for a potential 11-dart leg here. It's the treble. That's not really what he wanted, but it'll do. Double 2.
Game shot.
Very nice. A 12-dart leg finished on double 2 for Justin Pipe.
Second leg, Justin to throw first. Game on.
Yeah. Eye-catching start from Justin Pipe, a man who was never present in Europe last year, and so far this year too.
Full stop, in fact. One of the very select bunch to have played in every single European Tour event.
81.
That is not an earthquake, I can just reassure you.
No, we have a rather unique commentary position here, not in the hall. We're just sort of outside of it.
On the north coast of Africa.
Yeah, right next to the airport runway.
62.
So at some point over the course of this tournament, and a few times I would imagine, we're going to have to move to allow a plane to go back, or at least duck.
Who knows, maybe the Royal Air Force will do some testing this afternoon as well.
123.
Wouldn't put it past them. This is strange things happen at this tournament here in Gibraltar. Strange, magical things. Certainly a magical weekend for Jamie Lewis, when he went all the way to the final, he was beaten by Phil Taylor, but he
43.
knocked out Kevin Painter and Adrian Lewis along the way. It was a real step forward for him at the time. I remember interviewing Phil Taylor on the stage afterwards. He said, "Look, this lad is going places. You've got to watch out for this lad." Now, I know Phil Taylor has said that about countless people in the past, but Jamie Lewis is proving him right. He recently made his first major TV quarter-final. That was at the Grand Prix. He has since gone on to have runs in a number of floor events away from the TV cameras. You know, he made final of a UK Open qualifier in 2014.
49.
He beat MVG along the way, lost to Brendan Dolan. He's made 3 semi-finals since then, including here at the Gibraltar Darts Trophy. One of them was this year as well in the UK Open qualifiers in February. Justin Pipe is just piling into the treble today.
135.
Whisker away from leaving himself double 16.
I think the latest player to get the Taylor one to watch out for seal of approval is Chris Dobie, but that's no secret.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he's been getting that seal of approval from a
68.
number of players. Chris Dobie.
Requires
Gary Anderson in
62.
particular as well.
Well, obviously, he has an
Vested
interest. Full disclosure. Ooh, now that is a poor dart from Justin Pipe. Not been many of them so far,
30.
but he's so far ahead because of his scoring. This is one of the things with Justin Pipe, because he isn't a rat-a-tat-tat player, he can be throwing incredible darts, and it kind of sneaks up on you. You
Yeah.
look up and you go, hang on, he's averaging around 4.
Yeah, and you don't realise it.
Justin, you require
And he's suddenly
32.
potentially one dart away from a 2-0 lead here.
Well, that
Very,
first dart's all
healthy,
right for him.
yeah.
His little tray just to lay it on. Oh,
14.
he's gone next door.
Well, that's. I suspect he may split that and lead himself a double 8. Depends what Lewis does here.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Justin's one of these players. Lately he's been
95.
leaving double 14, double
Justin, you
13 a
require
lot. So
18.
double 9, he might just go straight for it. It looks like he is.
Yeah, he does.
He's not far away from double 14. He
Game
does leave
shot
that
on
a
the
lot.
second leg.
He pins it now,
Justin
and there's that
Pipe, folks, once
familiar
again,
Justin
please make
Pipe sort of
sure you
scowl.
have
And
your
yes,
mobile
it's
phone switched off or on silent. Thank you. Third leg, Jamie to throw first.
like being back at the Crucible, isn't it? Good stuff from Justin Pipe, though. A 2-0 lead here against Jamie Lewis.
When you say back at the Crucible, were you there this year?
Well, no, I wasn't. I did watch a lot of it.
59.
Yeah, it was a good tournament for the qualifiers there, wasn't it?
It was.
I think we had
Ding Junhui.
2 in the semi-finals.
Oh, the European Tour darts on the PDC. The number of
121.
qualifiers you've seen have runs and make finals and even go on to win them. I mean, it's incredible. That's why these players must come to these weekends just with a real sense of hope
Yeah.
and expectation, really. I mean,
58.
they play a lot of floor tournaments, and as we've seen, we've already mentioned Josh Payne and Gowen Price won one each last weekend. Admittedly, some of the big names weren't there, but there was still a significant number. You know, Peter Wright and James Wade were the beaten finalists. But they know that anything can happen on those days, but these are
85.
big stage tournaments. You know, you've got the stage, the walk-ons, everything else. They have the feel of a TV tournament, even if it's not a fully fledged one. And there's significantly more money available on them. So, you know, they are big
83.
weekends. Jamie Lewis, when he won through to the final, you know, it got him in the match play, and it opens doors if you can go on and win one of these. You know, gets you in things like the Grand Slam more than
Yeah.
likely.
And already this year we've seen it as well. I mean, Carol Gurney reaching the final in Venray, and Joe Cullen making the semi-finals in Munich as well. And
Chris
also Chris
Dobie's not-
Dobie.
yeah,
I mean,
and-
what a performance that was.
And with the change to the European Championship qualifying criteria, where it's solely based on these events, they become even more important. Now, Jamie Lewis. Yeah, he's not happy. He's not happy
Justin,
because
you
with the
require
way he throws his darts, they do
55.
stick up. And it'll be very disappointed not to have even given it a chance to clatter into them and find its way into the treble bed. If he'd hit the 20 above the wire, where it just snaked between the two
90.
darts, he wouldn't have been that frustrated, but he didn't even give it a
Jamie
chance to
161.
deflect in. And that means he's got to hit 2 trebles for a shot at the ball. Not going to happen. So Justin Pipe, 25 for tops, would give him a 3-0 lead with 2 breaks of throw. He may not even go this way.
Justin, you require
Be interesting to see
65.
which way he does go.
Pipe head bowed at the back of the stage, waiting for his turn here.
Yeah, he was going 25. He's missed it and hit the 18 instead. So he comes down for the 15. Now Justin Pipe has 1 dart for a 3-0 lead.
33.
Double 16's not been
Jamie,
kind to him so
require
far today.
104.
No, it hasn't. May well return, though. Let's see what Lewis can do here. Could do with this. Can't afford to suffer another break of throat. Treble 20 would leave double 12, but he's found the one, and just look at his face. Just look at his face. He's absolutely disgusted with that.
72.
Okay, he's recovered to an extent,
Justin, you
but
require 32.
it's Pipe who goes for double 16 first here. A 3-0 lead. Double 8 he wants. Just outside the wire. And
Game
that one
shot
is
on
well
the
and
third
truly
leg.
inside.
Justin Pipe.
It's another break.
Fourth leg, Justin to throw first.
And Justin Pipe
Game
leads
on.
3-0, and he's halfway there. Has a good head-to-head record against J.Lewis Lewis in the past. They've met 4 times. Their most recent encounters in 2014, I believe I'm right in saying. Dan's looking quizzically at me as another aeroplane takes off behind us.
91.
I've got them down meeting 6 times.
6, okay.
And their most recent was in Venray in February.
Oh, well, I wasn't there, so I
Right.
I overlooked that one.
Your records, yeah.
I'm not saying if it didn't happen because I wasn't there, obviously.
No.
I'm just saying I overlooked that one.
I mean,
because
pictures of it didn't happen. I can get you pictures if you give me enough time. But yeah, that was 6-5, went all the way to a deciding leg. That, of course... oh, now then, Justin Pipe. Yeah, very good. That's a second maximum from a force.
the point I was going to make is that he's won 2 of those matches 6-1 and 6-0. So he's on
Yes.
course for something similar. That
Yes.
was in a UK Open qualifier and in a Players' Championship event in 2014. So
They did have a very high-profile meeting at the match play last year as well, and J.Lewis managed to win that one, won it 10-7. Big, again, big landmark for J.Lewis, that winning a big game on TV.
135.
But that was one of those matches where, I mean, Justin, in the middle of this rut and big TV games and unable to win it, and by the end of it, he'd sped up to twice his normal speed, and he
96.
actually improved playing like that, but it still wasn't enough.
95.
well, he's closing in on 4-0 now here.
Yeah, doesn't need to go the ball route for this one because Lewis is back on 303.
I think when the draw was made, let's just see what Pipe can do here.
55.
Well, he's trimmed it down to a finish of tops, but I think when the draw was made, Lewis would have looked at it and thought Pipe was probably one of the most difficult draws he could have had.
It's always
When you look at the other options
yeah,
that he
exactly.
could have had.
He'd have wanted to draw
Justin,
perhaps
you
one of the
require
Gibraltarian
40.
players this afternoon when there's no fans in, or he'd want to draw somebody who
Game
hadn't
shot,
played
full flag.
Euro Tour darts in
Justin
ages.
Pipe.
And,
Fifth
he's got
leg,
Justin
Jamie to
Pipe, who
throw
we know
first.
is very capable player, more than capable player. He's an excellent player when he's playing well. And right now, he leads 4-0, and it's pretty impressive stuff from Justin, but J.Lewis, he's not got going at all. Pipe's averaging in the mid to high 90s. Lewis, only around 80, but that 177 from him, maybe it's just what he needs to kick-start things.
Well, he needs something. Winner of this faces James Wade in the second round tomorrow. James Wade's another player who is perhaps overdue a good run in Europe
60.
as well.
Well, James Wade's... it was here that James Wade really returned to form, if you like, after his much publicised problems with his mental health and
43.
really struggled with his form. This was the first tournament that he managed to win, and he said afterwards that I convinced myself that I could still win competitive darts events as a professional by winning here, beating Steve Beaton in the final. Then, of course, he went on to win the Masters, and since then he's been
140.
a threat in everything. You know, beat Phil Taylor in the match play, ending his near 8-year unbeaten run. Obviously in the Premier League, he was in with a shout at the playoffs until last night as Lewis. 140 will do. Oh, Justin Pipe piling on the pressure. A little bit unfortunate there.
Yeah.
Jamie, you require 140.
Had the tray in place, didn't he?
Yeah,
on which to slide that third dart, but it wasn't to be. But he is down to a finish of 161. But Lewis, well, he's not on a finish now.
Just stay straight, Jamie. Yeah, well, look, it's not the end of the world because he's left himself a 2-darter. Treble 20 for tops. This would be a killer. 161 against the throw for 5-0. Oh, Justin.
It could happen.
A little nervous look over Justin's shoulder from Jamie at the back of the stage there. He knew that might have been game over had it gone in, but if he doesn't take out the 100, it might still be game over. Treble 20 for tops. Oh, my word. Hit anything but the 1, Jamie. Anything but the 1. If you throw out the board, you've still got a chance of finishing it.
Justin, you require 75.
Oh, his head just dropped there after that first dart. Pipe here. Wouldn't put it past him, would you?
Up for 18 for double top.
Just having another think about it, but Topsy wants then for a 5-0 lead. Lewis can't bear to watch.
Game the fifth leg.
And look away now, Jamie
Justin
Lewis, as
Pipe.
Justin Pipe takes it out.
Leg, Justin to throw first.
And he's 5 legs to the good. And Justin Pipe is looking the business here.
Well, you mentioned Justin Pipe has won a couple of games between these two by big margins of 6-0 and 6-1, but both of those were back in 2014. You know, since then, everything has gone
45.
a lot closer. 6-5 earlier this year to Pipe, 10-7 to Lewis at the match play. When the draw was made, you would think both of these guys between 16 and 32 in the world rankings. Oh, that's a close game, that one, but it's not proven to be so at the minute. It's partially down to Justin Pipe being very, very solid and partially down to Jamie Lewis just not really getting going. He kicked off that last leg with a 177 on his own throw and he's ended up losing it.
Well, Pipe starting with a 45 and backing it up with another 45. Can Lewis punish Pipe here for a sluggish start to the 6th leg?
96.
Well, stolen the darts, but not irretrievably so if Pipe can fire in a big one here.
$100.
Keeps him interested.
$96.
Jamie Lewis woken this morning by one of the Barbary apes here in Gibraltar trying to get into his hotel room.
You know my stance and thoughts on Barbary apes, or monkeys in general, really. Primates.
97.
As indeed we are as well, I know.
Like co-commentating with Charlton Heston.
They just... overrated animals. They rip your windscreen wipers off your car.
140.
They badger you for food. They attack you. They come into your hotel.
Well, bizarre anti-primate rants aside, Justin Pipe's looking to fill it up. And does so. Impose the pressure on Jamie Lewis. 83 might have to go to stay in the tournament.
Yeah, and all those treble 20s in one side of the bed there as well. And Lewis here.
It's not going to happen. Justin Pipe. Well, look, he's hit the 180. It's left himself double 17. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for this. If he misses low, Justin Pipe can just stack them on top. So does he go straight at it? He does, and he just fires it in, and that's a 16-darter, a hold of throw, and Justin Pipe has powered to a 6-0 whitewash over Jamie Lewis, another former finalist here at the Gibraltar Darts Trophy, dumped out. So Lewis joins Beaton and Ross Smith. So there are two former finalists, a man who threw a 9-darter on this stage, dumped out in the opening 4 games of today. But Justin Pipe, big smile on his face, and rightly so. He's played very, very well there. He is safely through, and James Wade go up against him in tomorrow's second round. There you see the menu of action for today. Pipe, Fulwell, Rastovitz and Mernon all through. Antonio Alcinas takes on Stuart Kellett in just a few moments' time here at the Gibraltar Darts Trophy.